Yo, 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 and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, no matter where you are in the world. Welcome to another stream. I'm your host, as usual, King Ozymandias, also known by my actual name, Nazi Feris. Thursday it is. It's a wonderful day. It's pretty much the equivalent of Friday in the Middle East, so happy upcoming weekend, and for those of you in Saudi, happy National Day on your, I think, 91st year. I believe. I'm not sure actually. I think it's 91. Uh, 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 but anyway, it's all good. We are gonna look at two new games. One that is an indie game called Toem. That will be our later game in the stream. It's a photography adventure game, a little bit like Pokemon Go without the whole like trailing where. Basically the path is like preset for you. You still have to do a little bit of moving around the levels and whatnot. And then the next game we're gonna show right now is a new game from Sega. It's a sequel from the original game, which was kind of a, let's say, a offspin of the Yakuza series, building on the foundation produced by the same team that works on the Yakuza series. So it's basically the Ryuga Gotokutsu, if I remember, studio, and basically they're the guys that have been doing the Yakuza series ever since the start, and they created a spin-off back in 2018, which I've streamed, I think, during around the launch date as well. Really cool game. It's basically, the premise is very similar to Yakuza in the sense that you are basically roaming around a city in Japan, which is basically called Kamurocho. It's kind of a fictional district of Tokyo, basically, which is kind of very similar to some of the known districts in the city, and so it's a sequel to that episode. So the one that came out in 2018, or actually, it technically came out in 2019, in June. It came out on 2018 earlier in what is it called, on other in Europe and Western worlds, etc. So the premise is pretty, I would say, easy, in the sense that you, instead of being a Yakuza, you're basically a defense attorney turned into a sort of private eye or private investigator, if you may. But a lot of the gameplay is kind of at the root of, similar to the Yakuza series, where you have certain fighting mechanics. So you fight thugs and whatnot in the streets, and but it has the extra part of it, which is basically the mystery solving part. So you have cases that you take as a private eye, and you help other people to basically seek justice in a sense. So the first game actually did pretty well. I mean, I remember the Metacritic was around 80 over 100. So it's pretty nice. It's got a lot of it's got a similar combat to Yakuza 0, if you guys have played that one. So it basically has the player using three different. They can play. They basically fight with a kung fu style that are quite known. So you got the crane style, right? So the crane style is more like this. You got the snake style, which is more like this, and then you got the tiger style, which is more like, like claw hitting and fighting. And then it's got these sort of a rage form, which basically makes him team up and get quite powerful. And there's some combination attack when you have sidekicks or people with you, and the other alternative is that you got this sort of investigation mode in the game as well. So there's some sneaking There's some sneak part in it where you go around places and you try to find clues. You collect evidence. You tail certain suspect and whatnot. So it's quite nice. It's got a lot of nice mechanics, and this game is obviously a continuation to the plot of the first one. And it all starts with it will question a lot of your mentality of what is justice, because at the end of the day, this is technically a lawyer or a defense attorney that has been turned into a private eye. So the lines of justice, what is just and what isn't, are kind of blurred here, because in a sense he does end up becoming the judge, the jury, and the executioner in a sense on his own. So without further ado, we're gonna switch to the game, and there we go. So this is the first game that this is the first game in that series that was originally launched for Judgment for Xbox Live for Xbox Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, even though the original Judgment has been re-released in a sort of remastered version in Japan and Asia mostly, not in the other part of the world. But if you do like this game, I would highly recommend playing the first one. The first one is quite nice, and this one is the extra part of the sequels of it. Ugh, I'm talking gibberish today, weirdly enough. All right, so right now we're on a case where we're trying to help this poor lady who has been basically harassed basically in sex work, to make money, to make enough money for a sort of someone that is part of the Yakuza, and she's trying to free herself from a debt of 1.2 million yen. Sounds crazy. It's around $10,000 roughly at today's rate. But yeah, so we are now, and we got to a point where we figure out who was harassing her and basically pushing her to do all these things, and we kind of freed her from that. But now our next part is that we need to go and advance in the story by finding her some legal representation, basically. I'm gonna turn off the music. I put the Japanese voiceover because it's much nicer. I mean, the don't get me wrong, the VO in English are pretty decent, but I always like with these games to play it in the original VO, because especially with the lip sync and everything, it just looks better. So hope you guys don't mind reading the subs, and if you feel like lurking, let me know. If the majority are lurking, I will switch back to English VO.
お邪魔します。
ああ、この間のあの件、ぼったくりの。どうです？八神の仕事ぶりは。どんな案件でも全力投球するのがこいつの取り柄なんですよ。
ええ、本当にとても助かってます。
源田先生、少しの間ここに恵子さんいさせてもらっていいですか？
I guess we're gonna
別に
put
構わ
her
ない
in
よ。
some sort of
ちょうど暇してたとこなんだ。
witness protection program, makeshift one, and we're gonna talk to
珍しい
Genda.
ですね。源田先生が一人で留守番なんて。
ああ、まあ、ある。
もしかして殺しの弁護とか。
So the premise of basically the premise right now of Love's Judgment is that it starts with some basically there's been weird murders and corruption within Japan, so like false conviction, pharmaceutical conspiracy, murder, etc. And so Yagami, so our main character here, he basically gets to we discovered that there's a weird case of in Yokohama where basically you see a bunch of firefighters coming in and discovering a sort of smoke from a building. They go in and then they realize it was only flares, and the flares were positioned in the way of an arrow, and pointing at the arrow was some sort of big form that was covered in sheets, and then when the firefighters basically uncovered the sheets, they discovered a person that has been pretty much dead for a long time and was rotting and has already maggots and whatnot.
手の成分とか調べりゃすぐにわかんなよバカ野郎。やめろ。おい、何撮ってんだ。ふざけんなこの野郎。
So this is where it starts. So basically, I think we're in 2021. We're actually this year, and so this person, Akihiro Ihara, is basically accused of groping a woman on a train, and the defense lawyer. So basically, all these guys are being they're being the defense lawyer of the they're from the same Genda law office, and they're trying to basically. They're trying to figure out if Ihara committed those crimes. Was it a sexual battery case, a cover-up, or has he basically gamed Japan's justice system entirely for that? So we're gonna get into that whole premise, and we're gonna get involved into that eventually. So we, as in like our main character, which is Yagami.
じゃあ裁判長も有罪だと言い渡しやすいですね、きっと。
やけになってどうするんですか。まだ決まったわけじゃ。
決まりですよ。有罪で。それはつまり全ての準備が整ったということだよ。
え？
さて、ここからが本番だ。
ご起立ください。
Loving the graphic levels are so good. I mean, most of the Yakuza series are obviously like there's more details on core characters that are in the game. The other characters have lower effects and stuff on their faces and facial expression, but the rest are properly done.
今日は判決聞かされるだけだ。だから沙織君一人でいいんだけどよ。星野君が
沙織さんの役に立ちたいっていうか、少しでもいいとこ見せたいんでしょうね。
でも沙織君に風呂のいる場面なんてまずねえだろう。
Reality is a harsh
現実は
mistress.
厳しいな。
It is indeed.
ところで
Wise man.
現役警官の弁護ってなんでここで受けることになった？
最初はよその弁護士が担当するはずだったんだ。
Ah, it turned out it's a
カムロ
cop.
署の御用達って
Just actually funny considering the first game we discovered that what is it called, the what is it
無
called,
罪ってことですか。
まあ釈放はされちゃうね。
the
今の
chief
話だと
yeah,
警察
there
の
was a
首
chief
とセットみ
prosecutor
たいだけど。
basically Morita that got imprisoned in the end,
そ
so
の
like
警官
just
は
an
無
extra
実を
level
主張す
on
るっ
the
て聞かなかったん
on
だ
the
よ。
sense of like, you know,
Sure,
intense
so-
corruption that actually
Because
is still plaguing.
Kamuroshi
I wouldn't say
Goyotoshi
plaguing,
no
but like
sensei
it's
wa
still a
saji
big
を
part
その時たまたま当番弁護士だっ
of
た
issues in
沙
Japan
織
at the
君へ
moment.
とお鉢が回ってきたんだ。
そういうことでしたか。
興味あんのか？少し待ってりゃ二人とも帰ってくると思うぞ。
いえ、俺はまだ仕事がありますからそろそろ。また新しい依頼いただけるんならいつでも。
相変わらずの貧乏症か。少しのんびりしちゃどうだい。
Justice doesn't know how to relax.
仕事が趣味を兼ねてるんです。好きでやってることですよ。
Oh.
まったく聞きやしねえ
じゃ
な。
あ、
All
恵
right,
子さんのこ
so
とお願いします。
Keiko-san.
そ
All right, let's talk to our friend here.
どうか気をつ。
All right, let's go. Go find our friends and continue the storyline. All right, so
よ
all right, let's do this.
うん、行こう。
よっしゃ。
So some quick tips for those of you that probably will get this game, if they do, or if you do. Just a couple of small tips just to help out. Just a quick one. So this is the one that was basically doing, that was basically pushing the girl to into basically sexual sex trade, basically, or not sex trade, but like, you know, forcing her into selling her body for money. And he's getting us to his bosses, I guess, in a sense, and we're gonna, you know, inflict justice in our own way. So, a couple of quick tips. The first thing I gotta say is that early on in the game, make sure that you stock up on healing items, mainly because it gets more difficult to do that later on, and also because the what is it called? Some of the big stuff, like the you know, the stuff that are really famous from the Yakuza franchise, like toughness and stamina, they're pretty limited in terms of how many he can carry. So so you basically can only buy like 10 of food items that heal as much damage. So it's pretty good to gradually keep on buying. The second thing is SP is a big part of the game, so special point or skill point if you want. And he Lost Judgment itself has like all these different style of fighting, which I've said, which you can quickly switch to while you're fighting. And actually, the game will basically give you more SP if you defeat multiple enemies with different style in the same combat instance. So basically, you would switch between Crane, Tiger, and Snake mode. Now, I'll explain a little bit better why there's those three modes, but you know, eventually each stance or each style of fighting has an advantage depending on the situation. If you guys have played, by the way, Yakuza Like a Dragon, this area is from Yakuza Like a Dragon, and you probably have seen it as well. Thus why Lost Judgment isn't that hard. I would say like this is why it makes it easier for the production team to create another spin-off basically within that era, because most of the assets are already pretty decent.
どういうことかまず説明しろや。
店長、いえ、
浜田恵子さんからぼったくりに脅され困ってると、そういう相談があってね。
てめえその声、さっき電話で話したやろうか。
八神探偵事務所だ。
ん？探偵で八神って、お前あれか。昔松金の。
ほら見ろ。な。カムロ町でうちの名前知らねえなんざ。ちなみに俺はその松金組にいたカイトってなんだ。
Ex Yakuza as well.
お前も話には聞いてる。有名。
まあそうかな。
松金のカイトといや、おつむの弱さで知られてる。笠だらに組の金取られて破門されたって話。みんな知ってるぜ。
カス野郎。
何も知らねえ。ほっときなって。
クソかい。
それより今日は恵子さん、そこにうちの手間賃も乗っけてもらうよ。こっちも仕事。
そうかよ。やってみな。こっちは組抜けてからの方がバカずふん。わざわざ極道なんて窮屈な看板背負ってバカだったよ。この店の自慢はな、防音に金がかかってるとこだ。つまりここで何が起きようが誰にも分かりゃしねえ。最高だろ。
That should be fun.
いいね。じゃあこっちも好きなだけ暴れられるじゃん。
ああ、いいこと聞いたな。じゃあ追っ始めると。あれ？
八神氏、お久しぶりですな。先ほど杉浦氏からも電話。
今はちょっと
やっぱり忙しかったんですね。杉浦氏から悪くされたのですか？ 僕はもう心配で一つ改めてお詫びを申し上げさせていただき、
いやそんなの言って。
そうはいきません。今や杉浦氏と僕は同じ同僚のミスは僕のミス。それが社会人の礼儀、人間としての常識。
分かった。
Having random
じゃあ後で
conversations
聞く
like,
から。
wait a minute,
後でとい
wait
う
for the
と
fight.
こちらから
I gotta take
でしょ
this.
うか。だとすると、
で、
ふざけやがって
それ。
てめえら
Alright, let's do this. Shady bar owner. Alright, so this is what I was saying. I'll explain a little bit more about skills later on, but right now, let's get into the action. So you got the main attack, so the X is basically the main attack, and then Y is a finishing blow, but you can also use it, so you can also use it to, here we go, I switch now to be more defensive. This is the crane move. And as you progress, you can see the RT at the top, the EX boost. Oof. So over the top, I love it. Here we go. There we go. But you can also do multiple things. You can grab an item, you can hit with the item, etc. You can. There's also a dodging mechanics, a dodge and a sort of parry, kind of almost like a Jeet Kune Do style.
八神さん、海藤さん、
So it's pretty
本
cool.
当にお世話になりました。
All right.
ありがと
So
う
I
ござい
guess
ま
our
した
first case is
ああよかったね。
done.
これ
そう
まで
なんです。本当になんてお礼を言った。
いいってことよ。ついでに俺らの手持ちにも。
そうでしたね。
いや冗談だ。
たく。で、
連中は町を出ていくみたいっすね。店を継ぐ康介の野郎も大学にチクっといたから晴れてコースアウト、一件落着です。
でも怖いですね、カムロ町。いい勉強になりました。
そっか。
ええ。これからリアルで会うときはもちろんマッチングアプリも受け。
そこが反省ポイント、稽古ちゃんな。
Take away from
そ
all
も
this.
そも
They're
ネ
just
ット
gonna
で
change
出会う
from
のが
Tinder
ど
to
うなん
another
だっ
thing.
て話じゃねえのか
Because
い。
like she basically met the guy that was
ネットで知り合って幸
asking
せな
her
人
for
たち
money
もいっぱいいます
on
よ。
those dating
そ
apps.
ういうこと。今時は当たり前なんだって。
ああそんなこと言ってっと時代に置いてからず。
へいへい。せいぜい気をつけ。
All right, I guess that's our first case closed. She's still saying thank you.
そういえば沙織さんたちまだ戻ってこないんですね。
そうだな。もうとっくに裁判終わっただろ。
しけくんだか。
甘いな。まだどうにもなってねえよあの二人は。近くで見。
それも年の功ですかい。
おう。俺はお前らよりよっぽど場数踏んでんだ。
松金のおやっさんと一緒に。
ああそうだったな。松金はヤクザ、俺は弁護士。裏と表って別の世界の人間だったが、この神室町で精一杯生き抜いてきた。いわば戦友だ。
So much storyline.
お前ら
So
も
much
たまには
backstories.
墓参りに
Like
行
it
ってや
reminds
れ。
me of all, you know, like watching Captain
Iware
Tsubasa. Basically, like the guy is like shooting the ball into the
俺
net
らももう行きます。
to the goal, and then
お邪魔しました
while the ball is
沙織さん
flying,
たちとはまた
they
今度。
recollect all their memories from 10 years ago, and it's just like,
ご起立
and
ください。
next up in the next episode. All right, Keiko's case has been solved. All rise. A bit different. The
では判決を言い渡します
in Japan because it doesn't have a jury. It's not like in the
被
US.
告人江原明宏を懲役6月に処す
6 months. 6
ま
months.
さか実刑判決なんて初犯なのに執行猶予もなしですか。
ええ。
本人があの態度ですもんね。ただ否認するだけで大した主張もないんだから。
これから判決の理由を述べますので、被告人は座ってください。
I like this. They give a rationale of why he was given the verdict. There's a smirk in there.
立ったままで聞きますか？
裁判長、3日前に横浜の廃ビルから死体が出てきたはずです。もう身元は分かりましたか？
は
あ、何を急に？何の話ですか？
わかりません。
まだでしょうね。ではどうか神奈川県警に知らせてあげてください。
That was the body I was talking about in the beginning.
その死体の主は三越柴博と言います。彼は4年前私の息子を自殺に追いやった万死に値する人間です。それが何の罪にも問われずずっとのうのうとしていたんですから。法なんてものは全くの役立たずだ。
静粛に。被告人は勝手な発言をしないように。弁護人、これはどういうことですか？
これはその
All part of the plan, it seems. Dun 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 dun.
いやー、今日は久々に仕事したな、俺ら。ひとまず
そうしたら杉浦たちにも電話だ。
へえ、杉浦が
横浜でつくもと探偵事務所立ち上げたんだってさ。
ああ、なんだそりゃ。マジかよ。
だよ、あのクソゲークリアできるかっての。
無理ゲーすぎだよな。
クソ、マジで腹立つ。
うさばらし。
それもそうだ。
All right. Battery wars. Okay, so the third tip I will give you guys is actually about skills and skill points and how you need to spend those basically in the game. You gotta be really smart about it because if you don't pick the right one at the beginning, it makes your job a little bit harder for the later stages. It was like that in the first Judgment, and it's similar this way. Basically, there's a lot of abilities that you can choose from, and they're all like linked into different ways. So like you got your stats level boosting here, you got your actual abilities, so like new ways of playing, and then you have special moves in each of the styles. So like the tiger, the crane, and then finally the special. The specials are like extra things that would almost like, think about them almost like buff. So like you got your conscience eater, so a boost, like for example, this is a very simple example, boost your health by 10% when you eat, and it gradually goes higher. So right now I think we have 2,000 special points. So obviously we don't have that many, we don't even have that much lines to do here. So obviously there's things that aren't really needed in the beginning. So like for example, listening to music on a record player gradually replenish health, target locked, etc. So you gotta be smart about it. So you gotta prioritize depending on your preferences in a sense. So for example, like my first thing would be to increase the maximum health first, and then and the damage upgrades from the stat section early on is a perfect thing. So right now we only have the boost gauge, the boost attack or the boost grip, because we don't have that much in the beginning. So we only have 2,000 points. So we gotta be a bit smart about it. So we're just gonna boost the health. And we are gonna boost the what is it called, the EX gauge, so we can well, basically activate EX Gauge faster, which is that sort of special ticket. And then other than that, my take is it would be great. Like, you guys should definitely get the Flashing Palm as early as possible, because this one is great. When at full health, charged attack will nullify the enemy's defense. That one is pretty good, at least like from those that I've seen. There's also in Crane, there's one right here. Yeah, the Nimble Strike. So an attack performed from a quick step, perfect for striking an enemy who leaves themselves open after an attack. So yeah, those are some of the ideas of what you can go for. But yeah, basically just try to be smart about it, and don't overdo it with just like just randomly trying to get everything in there. Alright. There we go. I think we're gonna go with the boost health level 2 as well. Make our life a bit easier getting. Obviously, there's a lot. There's 184 things, abilities to unlock, so it's quite a high level things. All right. So we could drink. That's. Whoop. Nope. Wrong button here. Alright, so these are the items I was telling you guys about. The toughness, for example, is quite rare to find, and as you can see, we can only carry 3 of them. Then we get some miscellaneous stuff that we can put at a pawn shop to get more money and whatnot, and so it just makes our life a bit easier. Alright, so where do we need to go? I need to go back to the agency. I'm gonna actually fight them just for the fun. Whoa. There we go. There's also a shitload of stuff you can do in this game, mainly because let's open the map just to be extra safe, that we're not wasting our time going somewhere we're not supposed to. Right. And by the way, we don't actually have to fight all these thugs, but I highly recommend you do in the beginning, just because you want to get as much XP as possible to make your life easier for later cases that get really difficult. Whoop. There we go. Thugs on the way. Hello. Oi, fight me. Why don't you want to fight me? There we go. Let's continue. So there's a lot of things to do, by the way, in the city. Other than just like these random things, there's a lot of collectible to get. There's a lot of mini games that you can play. There's like arcades, and I think they even added a new mini game which is like a sort of like, not a Zumba class, but a sort of dancing class that you can play, which also gives you SP and gives you more money as you advance in the game.
所長は俺で 助手は元ヤクザの
I
海
mean,
藤さんが一人。
you know, at the end of the day, it's like all
この不
Yakuza
景気
games.
に何年も続けて立
A
派
lot
と言い
of
たいところだけど、
A lot of the
主にはさっきの
things
源田先
that
生
is
からの
fun
仕
about
事で
this game
食い
is
つない
actually
でる
all
って
the
感じ
side parts. So like all the parts that aren't part of the main storyline, but part of
意外に
the,
ハイテクも駆使
you
す
know,
る。
like more entertainment.
まあでもうちの基本はだいたい体を張ってたまに
And
頭
in
も
any
使
case,
う。
like side quests in general, like they also give you a great amount of money, and they aren't as long as the core cases that you do for the game. So don't rush if. So here's one of the minigame, for example. And there's a lot of minigames. Some of the minigames actually are really old Sega games that you probably can't play except in here. So here we go, select. So we got Alex Kidd in Miracle World, which you guys probably know. And there's some others that will eventually unlock. Obviously the Master System is a Sega Mega Drive in a sense. There we go. Here's an example. Love it. Oh my god. It would be so much different if it was an actual CRT resolution, to be fair. Oh shit, what is that? Oh no. Oh no. Greedy Alex. I don't remember much of this game, to be fair. Let's try to finish at least this level. Oh wow, look at that. Oh no. Alright, so how do we exit? Well, how do we quit? There you go. Quit. Done. Hey, you even get SP. Interesting. Alright, so now what? Alright, so I guess we're gonna rest until the second day.
もう用事は済んだの、八神さん。
さっきは悪かったよ。今は大丈夫。なんか仕事があるとか言ってた。
そうそう。八神さん、横浜はいいよ。結構探偵の出番が多くてさ。しかも今回の案件はね、うまくするとこれから似たような仕事がバンバン入ってきそうなの。
なんかやばい話じゃないだろうな。
八神さんにそんな話しないって。あれ、もしかして僕信用ない？
そんなことないけど。
ならよかった。じゃあ仕事の内容は会ってからのお楽しみね。
わかった。仕事はいつから？
明日こっちまで来てくれたらすぐにでも。うちの事務所は偉人町に。でも八神さん予定空いてる？
予定ね。ちょっと調べてみる。
予定も何もねえだろう。今日のだって
そんな風に言ったら安く見られるんでしょ。
なるほど。駆け出しに仕事恵まれたとあっちゃ。
They're playing like hard to
お待
get.
たせ。なんとかや
You
り
can
くりできた
pencil
よ。
you in.
お忙しいところすみませんね。
あ
じゃあ楽しみ。
何の仕事かは言ってか。横浜か。
俺もだ。
ま、最近のカムロ町は案外平和だし。
Alright. So I guess we're gonna go to another city, which is Yokohama. And Yokohama is also known for well, basically Yokohama is actually known for it's in Yakuza, Like a Dragon, actually. I mean, that's the prologue anyway, so. And a whole entrance and a whole starting credit as if like it's some sort of movie. Script writer. And some of the fun stuff that right away they got to add in this game is actually the stealth system. So because there wasn't a stealth system in the old game, there was a fake version of it, but nothing really clear or like really well defined. And there's a parkour system. It's not parkour as in like it's Assassin's Creed style, but it's still like pretty decent. Where sometimes you know like if you want to try to go and investigate somewhere or like find clues in a different location, and there's like a guard at the end. There's always a way from behind. Like you experiment that at the beginning of the game, in your first case basically. So this didn't come out that long ago. Actually, it came out this Tuesday, and it's available almost on all platforms except PC and Switch. So it's on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and it plays on it's an Xbox Play Anywhere. So it's playable on both the base Xbox One and the Series XS as well. Obviously, the graphics are a bit different from each version, but it's still pretty solid on all versions. As well. I think if I'm not mistaken, Lost Judgment actually did pretty well on Metacritic. I think it's around, let's see, 83%, 83 as a score. So that's pretty good. And there's really, I haven't heard anything bad about the game in terms of like, I mean, some were saying a couple of things are repetitive, but again, if you are a big fan of like the Yakuza series, this is a nice like different take on that front. All right, let's go to Yokohama 99. And then once we get there, we will probably just listen to the storyline, etc. And then, because it's going to be a long case as far as as I've seen in some of the other, in some of the quick, because I think I played a little bit of this part in a trial a while back. So I don't want to. I know what to expect, at least. So yeah, and then we'll switch to our next game, which will be Toem. This way, that's a huge area. That's actually, I don't remember seeing this in Yakuza Like a Dragon. This is a school for sure. Yep, it's like some sort of high school or academy. Oh, they're coming at us. Come, boy. There we go. Like I said, one of the few reasons why I'm doing this, why I'm switching. Why I'm switching into a stance, like I said, is because it makes the XP gain go much higher. Oi. Just like grab him, just like punch his face. It's pretty round. I like this area. I don't need much of it. Oh, cutscene.
よう、ちょっと待てタボ。あれ見てみろ。
なんだ、勝手に何撮影してんだ。やめなさい。
なんだよ、別にいいじゃん。撮影禁止とかどこにも書いてねえし。
とにかくよせ。
だからなんだよ。理由は俺らの自由っしょ。
おい、倒したろ。お前が今倒したよな。
いや、風だって。風で倒れたんだよ。な
うん、風。今ビューって吹いたよ。
だから取るなって。
最近のガキはやり口が可愛げねえ。
Little punks.
同感。観光気分も台無しだ。
じゃ、考えてることは一緒か？
確かめてみる？
Love the shirt.
いや、また言いがかりっすか。あんたおかしいっておっさん。
お前らな。
出ましたね。お前ら。そっちこそ何様なんすか？あ？
店の前でたむろされちゃ邪魔だって。そう言っただけだろ。他のお客さんに迷惑だから。
今の編集でカット。
へえ、そのスマホ新しいやつ。ちょっといい？
なんだよ。
カメラ綺麗に撮れるんだね。親に買ってもらった？
キャッタ、今あいつ榊を。
そんなわけないじゃん。それよりこのスマホちょっと汚れてない？貸してみ。
返せスマホ。
スマホね。返して欲しかったらまず倒した看板直そうか。
てめえ。マジなめやがって。
Whoa. Big boy pants here. I guess Bratty Punks is the name of the group. Delinquent student. Ooh, Snake Style is here. Yes. Alright. Come. Come on. Okay, fine. Love it. Come on. Hit more, come on. Let's finish this tutorial part. Alright. Alright. 3 more guards. Come on! Hit! Yalla! Alright, one more. And we can finish. And teach these punks a lesson. Alright, let's do this. Oh, I love this. I love this dance. Oh, I love this dance already. Ooh, this one's got a lot of health, eh? There we go. Oh, all the guys and all the people in the background like just cheering. 200. All right.
よ 前さっきの技はなんだよ。
合気道。
そんないいもんじゃないよ。ただのこれあいつらの落とし物です。好きに。
Alright.
さっきのは清涼って高校の学生たちですよ。一応進学校なんだけど程度が低いっていう
Students are
か
pretty unprepped.
子供なんです。
世の中舐めてますって顔してたな。
カムロ町であんな真似してたらすぐに締められるね。
この辺も少し裏に入れば怖いのがいますよ。ヤクザとかハンピンリューマンってギャングとか、そういう奴らの前ではやっちゃなんかしません。
By the way, while you guys weren't, probably some of you weren't around, but there is, I know that some of you guys here lurking in the shadows have been actually granted some gifted sub thanks to our good friend Leos Omar. So I know Lawrence, I know you're in the shadow. So congrats on the sub. And for Sen, I know you got also another month, so you've been, I think you're one of the longest standing regulars on our channel at the moment.
そうですか。あ、よかったらこれ受け取ってください。ほんの気持ちです。
Also, on another note, for those of you that are quite loyal and quite watching our stream all the time, you probably have racked up a lot of stream loyalty points. So don't forget that you can also you can always buy products from my loyalty store with those loyalty points. There's a lot of new games that I've added in the list just to make your well, just to repay your loyalty in a sense. Alright, so we got more, we got 1400, so I'm probably gonna unlock some of the abilities here, maybe in the snake. I think the one I wanted to go for is a bit too expensive, probably. I think it was this, yeah, it's the snake's hidden art. No, the reverse stroke hold, there we go. It's actually, I got enough for this. But anyway, this is all that we're gonna showcase for tonight. Who knows if we're gonna end up, but the autosave has been done anyway. We will get back to the stream in a little bit. At the moment, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a short commercial break, just so I can freshen up, splash my face, use the toilet, etc. Or not, who knows. And then we'll see you guys right after the break with a small and really fun indie game called Toem, which is available almost on all platforms, including PC and I believe Switch and PS5 at the moment. All right, so we'll see you guys soon. So don't leave. See you soon.